is Judette. And for those of you who are joining us who are not members of the Caribbean Content Creators Club, I show up every single Monday because my intention is to connect with you in real time. And this session, as it is always, will be particularly useful for those of you who own small businesses, who own your own personal brands, who are building businesses and brands online and using social media and all the digital tools to share stories, to share information about your business, and to share your personal brand. And the whole ethos behind it is that I show up every Monday, I answer questions, I do live tutorials, I share tips. In the future, we'll be having guests, and it's all because for me, I have come a long way in using the tools in order to grow a community of 43,000. It always astounds me when I say it. 43,000 people on the Forward 40 brand. And so I know what it takes to build community, and from building a community, I have a feeling that I know what it takes to build a business from that and to monetize. And so I turn up every Monday along with so many others, and let me know if you are here. I'm still trying this new technology, but I have my phone, so I'm hoping that I get to see those of you who are live. Tell me hello, wave, send an emoji. Let me know where you're tuning in from, because I know we have a lot of people from all across the world, and specifically from the Caribbean. So again, welcome to Q&A Monday. And for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, this is actually this chat session that I am having now with you is really part of this special group called Caribbean Content Creators Club. We're 6 months old, and we started last year, and I consider us to be forward-thinking entrepreneurs who are using social media to grow. And because social media is a shifting landscape, oh, by the way, if you have a friend and you are an entrepreneur and she's an entrepreneur and she's not a member of this conversation, go tag her right now so she can join. No need to be selfish. But Caribbean Content Creators Club exists on Facebook. I have shifted the conversation here on Forward 40 for the next 4 weeks. I started out with it being just for a month. It's going to go on for another 4 weeks, and then we shift back into Caribbean Content Creators Club. But there is enormous news on the way forward coming up at the end. So I want you to stay tuned to hear how we are going to morph into something that's wonderful and exciting, and that's going to add such amazing value to your businesses. Okay, so I want to get right into what we do and how we show up. There are actually 4 principles that we are governed by. Let me see if I can get this. So we show up every single Monday, and hopefully every day, even if it's just to absorb the information. We speak up, sharing our knowledge in a way that is specific to how we speak up. We clap up each other, especially when people are doing well or need encouragement, and you're going to see signs of that. And we give up all of our time and the things that our knowledge to share. Okay, so what's a great example of showing up as well as supporting each other in the group? I think this is a perfect example. This here is Kathy Ann, and she is a member of Caribbean Content Creators, and so is Desi. And Kathy is saying that she's doing everything she can to get the traction, to get comments, and to get engagement, but nothing is going on, right? And she's feeling overwhelmed, and she's struggling. And she said, what do others do to keep the motivation going, and what is the best tips and strategies, please? And this is a great conversation. If you look to the right of the screen, that Desi and Kathy Ann had, and Desi Ann is giving her the tips and insights that she knows and uses in order to keep motivated. And the next example of people supporting each other in the group is this question from Claudine on Zoom. So everybody's on Zoom, and Claudine is saying, and I'm not going to read all, but she's saying she would love to be able to use Zoom, but she's fearful that even though everyone makes it look easy, she keeps thinking that it requires some kind of great tech skill. And Jamie Rampersad jumps in and guides, and this is what I love about the group. She guides Claudine through the essentials of what she should know, what she should be looking for, where she should get her learning with regard to understanding Zoom. So I want to encourage you, if you are a business owner and you are joining us for the very first time, to head over now to Caribbean Content Creators Club. We did take a week's hiatus given what was going on in the world, and I want to acknowledge we're all having conversations, we're all thinking about where we're spending our money, we're all thinking about how can we work towards living in a world where there's more equitable distribution of wealth and resources. And there's been, for me, this week had so many trigger points. Let me know below in the comment box below if you also had trigger points. Having lived in the States for about 10 years and having experienced various forms of racism, this week was very much an emotional one for me. So I had to step back in order to kind of reflect. But I also used this week to really zone in on the whole idea of economic empowerment and economic thriving for myself, and for, of course, because I share so much, for those of you who are looking on, but I'll make more of that announcement later on. Let's get to the reason why we're here, okay? So you've got questions, I've got the answers, and if I don't know the answer, I find the answers for you and I provide it, and it is such a joy to do so. Now, next week we start back into the tutorials, but I wanted to center this discussion around the Q&As. And I know many of you love the Q&As because what happens is that you ask me either publicly, so I have some public questions. I also have some private questions that I get straight to my DM, and I pull that all together. And I know most of you, the common thread in all of this is, how do I show up online? How do I build a brand? How do I keep on top of all the things that are happening in social media? Because once you're in the know, you can do more and show up more and stand out more, and that's what we're all about. Okay, so so my software is saying there's an error loading messages, so I'm going to go to my phone, but be assured, please leave your questions, because even after this live is done, I usually just jump into the questions and of course, I answer them all. Okay, so let's get to the first question. Okay, so today's first cue, is from Kathy Ann, and I want to go back. I kind of paraphrased what Kathy Ann was trying to say, but you know what? Let me go back to her direct question or comment. So Kathy Ann says, feeling so blah today, seems not much traction coming from various angles. And from angles, I think Kathy Ann is referring to her Instagram and her Facebook page. And she sighs. I know what you will say, Judah Coward, Breezy. Keep showing up. Yep, that's what I am trying to do. What do others do to keep the motivation keep motivation going? Best tips and strategies. So I would say to you, Kathy Ann, and Kathy Ann is a professor and she resides in the United States, and I believe it's Maryland, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, here's my thing. Kathy Ann, I want you to go deep and not wide. So by that I mean, many times we kind of think that we have to be on every single platform and we have to show up there every single day in order to get what we want. And I know that what we want is really engagement. We want to build community. We want to stand out as a brand. But my struggle that I have so often with people who are not there, there's a little bit of a slowness, there's a little bit of a sluggishness in getting started. And I know what that feels like because I've been there. And anytime I go onto a new platform, I'm still struggling to find how is it that I craft my brand. And mind you, even though I am 43,000 strong on Facebook, and I'm so proud of that number, and we're growing, and I have 5,000 on my email subscription list, so proud of that number. I'm only about 7,000 something on Instagram. And so I know what that sluggish feeling of not feeling as if you're getting the traction. So that's why my suggestion is to, here's what, get on one platform, conquer one platform, understand what your messaging is, understand how are you going to add value. Once you understand that, let me take Kathy specifically. So for me, when I went onto your Instagram account, there were gorgeous pictures of your beautiful garden and your plants, and you were sharing some stories, but I do have to tell you that when I looked, I wasn't sure what value you were adding to me as someone who was consuming your content. Now, also know that you write the most wonderful blog posts. How do I know that? Because I've checked it out. And so you are a wonderful writer. You have all the strategies in place for creating a wonderful blog post. It's long form, your headlines are there, you have bomb pictures, you're doing great stuff. I would encourage you to please use that one blog post that you have. Maybe you write once a week. Use that on Facebook. Put it out on Facebook and make sure that from that one blog post, you are getting about 4 pieces of content. The long form blog post, a couple of quote cards or graphic cards that will drive people to the blog, but also represent content on Facebook. I want you, an image that you can then repurpose from the blog and write probably 2 paragraphs that you have on your blog. So from one blog, you can get 1 week's worth of content, because I'm not sure how prolific you are with taking the images and the pictures. I want you to do that consistently for 2 months. What you are essentially doing is that you are building a library of content. Having built a library of content that is specific, that adds value to your perfect people, to your ideal customer, to your customer avatar. Hope you've defined who he or she is. Once you do that for 2 months, I want you then to start tagging people as you post. I don't care if it's family and friends. Start to build momentum and start to build traction. Then, here's the thing. I'm going to encourage you to take $20. All I'm asking, put $20 on the table, and I want you to boost that post to a specific audience that's not related to you by blood. People who don't know you. What you're doing is that you're testing. Are the people who you are paying for, are their views, are they engaging? Are they sticking around? Are they commenting? Are they sharing your content? And I bet that they will, because your content is so darn good as it exists in a blog form. Once you do that, give yourself 2 months, build out a content schedule, tag people who you know, put $20 down on that table, more if you have it. And then you will see a tremendous shift in the 1, people who show up, 2, the people who stick around, because what they have found in sticking around is a person who adds value to their lives and a tribe of like-minded people who are showing up for each other, commenting, engaging, because you are adding such terrific benefit to their lives. Got it? I want you to try this for 2 months and then come back here and let me know if that didn't work, because I can guarantee you that it will. Having discovered that, then maybe head over to Instagram. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do the both simultaneously. As a matter of fact, if I didn't hear that if you didn't say that you were feeling blah and there's no motivation and that you're feeling as if you're not getting traction, it may be that you're spreading yourself too thin. And I can see that a little bit from your Instagram account. So dig deep, go deep, and not necessarily go wide. I hope that helps. Okay, so let's get on to the second question. We have 5 of them. Okay, so the next question, I love this question. I recently did a blog post on confidence on the camera, confidence in front of the camera, because I know that, okay, that people are, they feel so, like, I use the word I used before, like blah. They feel as if they're not worthy of showing up. So here's this question that came directly from our Caribbean content creators page, and I believe it's Alicia that posted this. And she said, in the past, I have posted videos of myself speaking but never did a live because of fear. In my videos, when I look back, I'm not pleased. I think it's crappy. Would the people who follow me understand my story or my concept of why? Probably if someone is doing their live, I may jump in. But I think going live for me is intimidating. My humble opinion. I love this question. This is right up my alley. Because I love videos so much, but more importantly, because I know the impact of doing video and going live. I'm just going to move a plant that's like blowing in the wind right here. Okay, so I just want to acknowledge, hi Desi, I am well. Thank you so much for giving me the heads up on that copy mistake that I had in my blog post. I appreciate it. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. That's Nicole Perry. Jamie, great to have you on. I told Jamie a little bit about Simplify today. More on that later. And it's great to have you all on. I'm looking at your comments on my phone. Okay, so confidence in front of the camera. Now, I get it. Doing this, I mean, I have experience in doing this, in showing up. And even for me, my heart starts to palpitate and I get sweaty palms, and it is still a little bit intimidating. Not much, but a little bit, because I am talking to a screen. But I want to say to you that as intimidating as it is, I encourage all of you, every single one of you, to show up on camera. Now, what you have to do, and I can give you the tips, it's in the blog post, and I will leave the link directly after this session to that specific blog on how to gain confidence on camera. There are even 2 videos in that blog post. But I would say the biggest challenge, and let me know if I'm right or wrong, let me know if you believe that, this is that you have to get over yourself. You have to get over yourself. The feeling that, oh, I don't have all the equipment. Oh, I don't have everything I need. Oh, my voice is not good enough. Oh, I don't have the correct wardrobe. And we can tell ourselves this negative narrative in our head all the time. And oh, one thing, let me open the window here. It's starting to get a little hot. And the reason why I sat here and not in my living room is because this is far from perfect, this space, but I did it to illustrate a point. This space, this corner that I'm here in. I did it to illustrate a point. I still showed up. And we need to get over ourselves. And it may be all of the things that I just said could be correct. But you know what, Alicia? There is no one that does what you do. There is no one who has your voice. There is no one who can share your story the way you can. And so because of those 3 factors, You owe it to yourself first, and you owe it to the people who want to hear from you to show up. Now, confidence, I get it. It's a thing. But having had that mindset shift, it is just a matter of being practical and really doing the repetition. So, did I get to be even remotely okay on camera just showing up the first time? I didn't. Do I still make mistakes live? For sure. Do I still show up? Heck yes. So, here's what I want you to do. If you feel that you're not comfortable, then practice, practice, practice. But you're not going to practice until the end of time, right? You're going to give yourself a deadline. And then what you're going to do is, as you practice, you're going to record these videos on your camera as if you were doing a live, and you're going to watch, you're going to private record it and then go over it. You're going to go over it until you feel comfortable. Share it with a friend, share it with a group, get their feedback, practice again, do it again. And then when that deadline comes for you to go live, press that button and go live. Now, it's going to help if you're a little bit afraid of being unscripted. It is going to help to have a script prepared. And by that I mean, I don't mean like a literal script that you are reading from like a book. I'm taking up my planner, like a book that you're reading. No, have maybe some bullet points on a sticky note that you can refer to. And actually, I have a new PDF on how to tell stories on video that's coming out soon. More on that a little bit later. It's completed. Hallelujah. Let the bells chime. And that has all the tips about how to write a script for video. And so that's going to be very useful to you, Alicia. But the thing I would say is to practice. Give yourself a deadline to go live. Write a script. Find a corner, as imperfect as this corner is. This is like a slice of a part of my studio. It's not the best part of my studio space. It has an open window. What I did was that I brought in a plant at my desk, and voila, I created a set. As simple as it is. It does not have to be complicated. But the benefits of going live are so super phenomenal, because Facebook is rewarding those creators who are doing live casts. So they're actually pushing up those live broadcasts all the way up into the algorithm, so that the more eyeballs are drawn to it. And it is such an incredible tool if you are building a business or a brand online. Okay, so I hope that was useful. Okay, so next question. Oh, I love this question. This was my favorite question of the week, and it stemmed from the question that we had about how much do I share on social media. Okay, so Juliet, what's being authentic? I keep hearing all these big time online entrepreneurs saying that you have to be authentic, but what does that really mean? I have a business that I am building on Facebook and Instagram. I don't want to be too personal, nor do I want to be completely authentic. I mean, does being authentic mean I have to share my laundry days? I love that question. So does being authentic mean I have to share my laundry days? Now, if in doing your laundry, a big idea came to you, and in that moment, something was born. Out of that washing and the drudgery of washing and drying and folding, something which I hate to do. I don't know about y'all. I mean, who loves doing laundry? Who loves doing laundry? Some of you may, and some of you like me may not. But in the drudgery of that, let's say a new idea was born. And this idea has excited you so much. It's almost like out of the rubble, a light shone. There is no harm in taking a picture of that basket of laundry maybe with your hands in it. That can be staged so beautifully. And talking about the idea that was born in your tiny laundry room with all the clothes and the drudgery of the chore of doing laundry all around you. For me, that's being authentic, because authentic is being real. Now, I want to put this disclaimer and I want to tell you a story. And this story was really influenced by a group that I am in. I joined a membership course with Amy Porterfield and the Lights and Stu McLaurin, and they have added such value to how I am developing the membership over at, or will be developing the membership over at Caribbean Content Creators Club. And I want to share this story, right? So if you look at this, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that there's a discoloration right here on my arm? I got this burn when I slipped my hand into a heated dryer, and the dryer rolls kept rolling around my skin and the skin kept falling out, and it was oozy and it was messy and it was yucky and it was nasty, and I spent a week in a hospital. But after a couple of months, this same skin that was dropping off from those heated rolls started to get better. And years after, it turned into, from an oozy, messy scab, into a scar that you can barely see, right? So for me, when you're sharing your information, when you are being authentic, you don't want to get into the messy, oozy, gooey, because as a content creator, you always have to be reminded, I believe, that you're adding value, that you're elevating the person's experience, that you are showcasing yourself, even as you are a friend and you are intimate and you are likable, and yes, you're authentic, you're as real as possible. I think in all that realness, there has to be some points, many points. To me, in my branding, 99.9% of those points, I am thinking, how is my messiness, which I'm going to probably talk about in a very minute form, but I'm going to talk about the learning of growing that scab into a scar. I'm going to talk about the pain points that allowed me to grow, because I can talk about monetizing my brand, and I can talk about it from the where I am now, fully aware of what needs to be done and fully in the throes of doing it. 2 years ago, even though I was at 30-something thousand on my page and 3,000, 2005 on my blog, subscribers and so forth, if you were to ask me 2 years ago about monetization of audience, content, growing community, and all of that, I probably would not have been able to articulate it. I would have delved into the issues of all the problems, the trouble I was going through, my anxiety, do I give up? I mean, all of that. And I talked about it, but also from the position of, here's what I know now. In all the messiness, here is what I know now. And now when I write about content and blogging and monetization and affiliates and video and all of that, I can come to you from the position of the scar. A scar that is healed, that still shows the marks, but in talking about my pain points and being authentic and showing up as I am, as the person that I am, without makeup sometimes, showing my vulnerability, without some of the things a lot of you have that I don't have, without the struggle of to maintain a certain size. The laundry room, I can talk about all those things, but when I talk about it, I am asking myself, is the content I'm sharing, is it elevating my user, my reader, my viewer? Is it elevating their experience? So that's how I feel about authenticity. So heck yes, share the laundry room if it matters to you. So great question. Okay, so next question. is, let's see here. I have been watching you grow your group, and do you have any tips on how I grow mine? Okay, so I'm a photographer and thinking it might be useful to have a Facebook group. Are there any pitfalls I should be looking for? Okay, great question. First of all, because I'm seeing the comments on my phone, thank you for tuning in, content creators. I'm just gonna pick up some of the comments that are coming in. So Jamie says, you're so right, Judith. You have to get over yourself in order to get on screen. I think we are our worst enemy when it comes to thinking about ourselves as an imposter, and when it comes to thinking that the narrative we have in our head that's negative, that's based really on fear, will always get us every time. Okay, so Ray is saying being your authentic self is more engaging than being perfect. Jamie, that is like, to me, that's a boom. That's like a massive, amazing, accurate, 100% correct thing. Being authentic with all the scars and so forth is more important than being perfect. The only thing I would say to you is, whether you're talking about the scab or the scar, make sure that you are elevating somebody's experience. Even if you're talking about, I don't know, growing a business, the struggle of losing weight, going through a messy breakup, or trying to find love, or feeling that your existence is like so just, like, oh my gosh, is this all to life? Make sure when you articulate that, you're asking for feedback from your audience, but also elevating the experience. Okay, so Marilyn says, I really want to do a live, but I'm scared, so I will try your suggestion. Absolutely, 100% yes. Desi is saying, good to know, Jamie, I need to start going live. A lot of people are chiming and saying yes. So I want to know, like, when you go live, please tag members of the Caribbean Content Creators Club, because you know why? We are going to be your super cheerleaders. Like, there's no ifs or buts about that. We are going to be your cheerleaders. So Kathy just joined us. Kathy, we answered your question. It was the first question that I answered. So scroll back up when this conversation is over and check it out. And Avian is saying, I totally agree with you. Avian, let me know what you agree with me for. I said a whole heap of stuff. And Diane, nice story. How much to share. Thank you, content creators, for being here. Okay, so next question. Let's go into it. Oh, I think I had it up already. Hold on. It was this. How do you grow a Facebook group? This is a photographer. This did not come on Caribbean Content Creators Club. This came from somebody that I'm talking to with regard to our new initiative. And so let me get into it. Okay, so I have my pen. So you know when the pen comes out, it's time for writing. Okay, so give me a minute. One second. I know you're not supposed to have silence on when you're live, right? But I break all the rules. Okay. I wrote it on a sticky note. Do you see that? I have the world's most terrible handwriting. But for me, when you have a Facebook group, you really want to have a clear mission, a clear idea of the member that you want to attract, and a clear schedule for content. So let me go step by step what each one means. So let me just put this here. Let's go to the clear mission, right? Why should someone benefit of someone joining the page? And to me, you have to be clear on what do people get when they join. So when I started, for me, Caribbean Content Creators Club, I had noticed that Found 40 was all about life and style. So whether it was food, travel, fashion, growing a business. But part of that group were interested only in building a business and brand online. And because I felt I had some little bit of knowledge to share, I decided that I would start a group 6 months ago. And it didn't matter if one person showed up. I was jumping on Q&A to talk. And I was going to talk about how do you grow a business that builds impact, influence while growing income by using all the social and digital media tools at our disposal. And I talked about it from the perspective of it being a free buffet, and we were invited to the table, and we just had to figure out which knife and fork and spoon went with what. We were being served a free meal, sort of free, but it was bountiful and it was there at our disposal. And so I created it, and I was very clear about the mission. Very, very, very clear. I was also very clear about what kind of person I wanted to repel and who I wanted to attract. So, even in the name, Caribbean Content Creators Club, it's very clear who I want within the group. I consider us, even though we are working on different projects, creators. We are creating and shaping our brands online. So I was very specific of the kind of person that I wanted, the kind of member, the kind of perfect person that I wanted to be part of the group. Are some people silent? Absolutely, and I have to do so much more work in that area. Are some people active and using it to the best of their ability? I can give you a lot of stories of people who said, I have implemented one thing you said, and it has created such tremendous impact. And that is what I mean when you have to understand who do you want as your member. And then it is having a clear idea of your content schedule. Because as I said last week, right? I have to drink some water, please. Orange juice. I said last week that I was taking a hiatus. And I already explained why. But regularly you can find us with Q&A Monday, collaboration Wednesday, tech Thursday, Saturday shares, and now once a week now I'm popping up with one blog post that's instructional, and I'm also going to be doing a 5-minute live that brings our community together and shares the information within the group that people may have missed. So you cannot just have a group and show up when you want to. I also believe that your group has to have a structure. Now, a lot of other groups have all sorts, everybody posts, they share links. It's wonderful, it's dynamic, and so forth. For me, I wanted a more linear feel to the group. I wanted when people had the information, they were sharing their expertise, no links. They can share their expertise within a structure, but they can ask questions of each other. I wanted that sort of group where the expertise of the group was on a clear display, not only through me, but through others. And so I encourage people to show up, just not sharing links, right? There's a way that we allow you to share your own links, but ask questions, support each other, tell us about a new find, something that you store, and maybe you share the link in the comment box below. So have a clear mission, have a clear schedule, and understand with great clarity who you are trying to attract. A clear idea of who the ideal member is. Okay, so great. Okay, so this is the final question. I saved the easiest for last. Okay, so what slide program do you use for your lives? I use a slide program called Ecamm Live. If you are, I get this question asked a lot. The first time I got asked, it was by Avia, and she actually bought Ecamm Live because she was doing a lot of Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, and so forth, and she wanted to use slides. So, I can sit here and talk for half an hour, but who wants to see my face for that long? So I believe that the slides kind of break out, the slides break out the monotony of a 30-minute or 40-minute conversation with you. And so I was searching, at that time Zoom wasn't even a thing, like so many people had not heard of Zoom. So I looked at Zoom, I looked at a number of others and settled on Ecamm Live. It's only available right now in Mac. I will leave a link. It's an affiliate link. So by all means, if you're thinking about using it, it's super easy to use. You can have two-way conversations. You can use Skype. You can bring people on. You can do live broadcasts. And I also restream to other platforms, including my YouTube. From next week, it will be on Caribbean Content Creators Club. I also simulcast on other networks using Ecamm Live through a technology called Restream. So I'm gonna leave that link before. And now people, let me grab some of your comments. Leave questions below if you can. That will help feed into next week's topic, where I'm going to be talking about blogging. A lot of you have interest in blogging. What does it mean? Is it dead? What do you have to do to have a successful blog? So I want to share some of the things that I am learning now as I'm growing my own blog audience from my SEO strategist, that I think is going to be phenomenally useful to you. Okay, so let's see some of the questions or some of the comments. So Ray is saying, definitely true. You have to always show up consistently. And Jamie is saying, Caribbean Content Creators Club is a great group. Thank you, Jamie, of entrepreneurs. I've worked with some of its members and it has all been so positive. Thank you so much for creating the group. You are very welcome. It is my mission, because I truly believe that the collaboration is so much better than competition. I believe that there is so much air for all of us to breathe. There is for all of us to succeed. And all we have to do is to help each other up. And talking about helping each other up, I have two major announcements to make. I saved the best for the very last, and I'm going to be talking. You're going to be seeing ads, you're going to be seeing information, you're going to be seeing stories. I mean, the works on these two initiatives. Okay, so on July the 8th, save the date, put it in your calendar, plug it in right this minute. We are having our first online summit, from 0 to 500. How to grow to 500 new customers and new leads for your business within 1 month. I know it because I did it at the height of the pandemic. And so I'm going to show you how it is that you can exist online and develop a product that people want. Build that email database so you are getting floods of people in, not one or two trickling by. Understand how you can leverage your blog to win them. Build and nurture that customer so that you can then have them buying from you. This is called From 0 to 500, a beginner's guide to lead generation. And I'm telling you now, it is going to be like nothing that you have seen before. It is not a webinar. It's not a talking head. It's not me sitting down. Actually, we're creating a backdrop. I'm bringing in a director, the cameras, the crew. It's going to be like a live broadcast, and it's going to be phenomenal. And those members, those of you who are in Caribbean Content Creators Club, it is not free. This session, I give away so much free content. This one, you're going to have to fork up a couple of dollars for it. But I want to say to you, if you are in Caribbean Content Creators Club, you get an amazing discount that will last until right up to deadline. Okay? So that's number one. Number two. In September, Simplify will launch. And Simplify is going to be a paid-for subscription that will allow you to stop the social media overwhelm and allow you to be significant content creators on your own platforms, because we are putting together a monthly social media and digital toolbox that comprises of all types of goodies. Caribbean inspired photographs, free captions that are customizable, a free hour of learning where we bring in guests on a set, not a talking head, a free action plan, which is a PDF that does a deep dive into a specific area. We've already written 3 of those PDFs where month by month you download it, you go through, there's a workbook. But what it is that it's building your skill set even as we equip you for the now to post online. It is such a game changer for Caribbean content creators. It is such a game changer for people who are struggling. It is such a game changer for those of you who are building businesses and brands online. And I could not be more proud to tell you that this idea has been with me for 3 years. For 3 years, I have taught about it. I have mainstreamed it. I know exactly the kind of tech tools we're doing. We have spoken to our photographer, and we're doing a founding members launch in July. So in July, we are going to be offering a lifetime membership in Simplify for 100 persons who will now be known as our founding members. But I don't want to give you a lot all at once. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be rock your world type of content, and you're going to be so proud of what you are able to do online now that you're going to have this digital toolbox stacked full of content that will make you shine. So those are my major announcements. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me see if I got any comments. So Desi Ann says, sounds exciting, loving those initiatives. Thank you so much. I'm going to be depending on you, Caribbean Content Creators Club, those of you who are on my Forward 40 platform, to share the message, to spread the word, and help me get this out. Again, thank you. Don't forget, I'm going to leave a couple of links to Confidence on Camera, which is related directly to Alicia's question, and then the Ecamm Live for those of you who are doing lives and want to have slides to share. So I'm going to leave that directly. Until next week, thank you so much, and I will see you next week, Monday at 5. Take good care. Bye.